Want to give a shout out to all of my patrons. Thank you so much for all of the continued support. Hey everybody, over the past 2 years, I have read roughly 250 books through a mixture of both Kindle books and audiobooks, and I've only paid for about 10 of them, saving me literally thousands of dollars. So today I'm going to tell you how I do this fully legally using a combination of the apps Libby and Hoopla, and I'm going to tell you how you can do this exact same thing and share some tips with you that even if you use these, that you probably have not heard before. So while many people already know a lot of the benefits of using a Kindle, by far the greatest benefit and the least well-known benefit is the fact that you can get ebooks from a library sent directly to your Kindle for free. And you can use this method to do audiobooks as well. And while I love sites like audible.com, and heck, they advertise on my channel, you would be foolish to spend money on audiobooks from Audible when you can get these exact same audiobooks for free. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 different things. So first is I'm going to show you how I utilize my local library to get these books and how you can do the same thing at yours. Second, I'm going to show you how to use neighboring library systems to get access to even more books. Third, I'm going to show you what to do if your library system either doesn't have Libby or Hoopla, and has a really weak collection of books, or if you happen to live outside of the United States and you want access to everything that I'm talking about. And fourth, I'm going to show you how to use a super convenient Google Chrome extension that very few people know about that'll make this whole process a whole lot easier. All right, so now let's learn how to use these 2 main apps. First, starting with Libby or Overdrive. Now, Overdrive is the main name of the company, but Libby is their app. So you're going to want to get the app if you're ever going to want to listen to audiobooks. But if you don't ever listen to audiobooks and you just want to do ebooks, you can use the app, but I'm going to show this to you on desktop, but it's the same exact process for using on your phone. I have it on my phone, but let's go through the desktop version here. So every Overdrive or Libby account is going to look the same, except it's going to have a different title up top. I'm looking at the Sacramento Public Library System, which is one of the library systems that I have access to. So you're going to search for a book. Let's look for The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. And right away, when I pull this up, I'm going to see 2 different options here. I'm going to see that an audiobook is available and an ebook is available. Let's start with the ebook. So for the ebook, I want to look at one thing right off the bat. I want to see that it's available in Kindle. It is. Great. Now let's look at the status of this. There are 0 of 8 copies available. That means, just like a regular library, they have a certain number of copies that they can loan out for 3 weeks at a time. Some libraries are 2 weeks. Most of them are 3 weeks. So none of them are available. And the wait time right now is 13 weeks. If I look at the details here, it's saying 13 weeks because there's 8 copies available. There's 48 people waiting in line, which means that there are 6 people waiting per copy. And they have some formula to figure out what that means. But it will never take 13 weeks to get this book. Why? Because when you place a hold on a book, which I'll do right now for an example, I'm on a hold. I am number 49 on 8 copies. And if I go to my account and look at my holds, I can see that I have it here along with a number of other books. Some of these are my wife's books. Don't judge me. But The Witcher is most certainly mine. So on this is going to slowly tick down as I go look at it. But when a lot of people are going to drop off this because they might not want it. So it's going to go faster than the 12 weeks. The 12 weeks is the worst case scenario. And I've never had it go that long that it says it's going to take. But another thing, a really cool thing that's going to happen is when this book is available, I'm going to get an email that says your book is available. You have 3 days to grab it and send it to your Kindle. And you're going to get the option then to say, do I want it now? Or do I want to go further back in the line a little bit? And how long do you want to wait? Sometimes if I'm not ready for it, I'll say, go back a week. And essentially after 1 week, the next copy that's available will be given to you. And you can keep pushing this back as long as you want. So this is a strategy that I often use is I will go put a hold on tons and tons of books that I want to read. And I'll just keep moving them back and back and back, knowing that then I'll get them when I want to read them. But lots of other people do this too. And every time you move back, another person gets it. So this 12 weeks will rapidly go quicker than you think it will go. So that's how to place a hold on a book. But now let's look at a book that we kind of want to read right now. Let's look at, let's look at Mistborn. Let's look at The Lost Metal. The Lost Metal has 6 of 12 copies available. So and it's available on Kindle over here. I'm going to go ahead and borrow this. It's going to say borrow for 21 days or less. I'm going to go 21 days. And then I'm going to say read now with Kindle. And as soon as I click that button, it's going to pop me over to my Amazon account. And I will be able to send it to my Kindle. And within about 10 seconds, it will show up directly on my Kindle. It's that easy. Now, when I'm done with the book, because I don't want to read this book, because I don't like this book, and I've already read it, I will go to my loans. I will see that it is here. And I can return it early. Return. Boom. And it's done. It's that easy. Now, you want to return it to be a good Samaritan, because then the people waiting behind you in line, if there's a wait list, will then get that email saying the book is ready. Now, let's look at how to do an audiobook. So let's go to The Way of Kings again and check out the audiobook version of that. So audiobook for The Way of Kings. It's not available. There's a 10-week hold. So I could place a hold, or I could, let's look at an example for a book that I currently have. So under loans, there are currently 2 audiobooks that are in my account available to listen to right now. You have a couple options. You can listen to it in your browser. You just pop it right open and boom, I can listen to it. It'll save your place. It'll sync up with the Libby app on your phone. Or just pull out your phone and you can listen to it just like you would be listening to audible.com. It's like the exact same interface. It's just as good. You can speed up the pace over here to 1.5 speed, which is what I normally listen to. But do whatever you want. You can bookmark it right here. You can look at your bookmarks here. It's got everything you would ever need. But let's go back to that Way of Kings example. Let's say I don't want to wait the 10 weeks. What's my options? Well, that's where Hoopla comes in handy. So this is what Hoopla looks like. On most library accounts, they will give you access to both Hoopla and Overdrive or Libby. I use those interchangeably. So let's look up and see if, let's look up that Mistborn example. Let's look up a Mistborn book, because if I look over here and look up Mistborn, and let's say I wanted to read The Final Empire. The Final Empire isn't available. It's a 12-week hold. Well, let me go over to Hoopla and type in The Final Empire. And the beautiful thing about Hoopla is they don't have a wait list. They have a rule that you can only get 4 books a month, but you just get them right away. Boom, borrow. Now, I don't want to use one of my 4 right now, but if I hit borrow title, I can have it immediately. And so I always check with Overdrive first. But if it's not there, let me go check on Hoopla and see if it's there. And oftentimes it is. So you can interchangeably use these 2 systems. The Hoopla app on your phone works just like the other one, just like Audible. It works beautifully. So that's how to work these systems. And please let me know if you have any questions. So now let's talk about how to get access to even more libraries than just your local one. So in many places, there are things called reciprocal agreements, where between library systems, they can share a catalog for you. So where I live, not only do I get access to my local library, but I also get access to the 3 library system nearest to me just by signing up online, which gives me access to like 4 times the amount of books, or 3 times. I'm not very good at math. So what I would do if I were you is I would call the nearby library systems, just call them up on the phone, talk to any librarian, and tell them where you live, and ask if you can get access to their library system as well. Or you can call your own library and ask them what system they have reciprocal agreements for. But in my experience, it's a lot better to call the individual systems. You'll get a lot better answers from them. So aside from this, in America, many states also have state laws that allow reciprocity between all library systems across their entire state, as long as you show up in person. So I happen to live in California, where this law exists. So whenever I go to a new city, like if I'm on a trip or just driving through for whatever reason, I always make a point to stop off at the library, I show them my California ID, and I get a new card. And now I've done this for about 10 different library systems across the state, which means that at this point, I get pretty much any book that I want whenever I want, unless it's like hyper indie or it's like just come out. But even the ones that just come out, I still have pretty good track record on getting those books. All right, now let's talk about what to do if your local library either does not have Libby or hoopla, it has like a weak collection of books, or you happen to live outside of the United States and want access to the things that I'm talking about. Because I think a lot of other countries don't get this access that I've gone over in this video. But I have a solution for you. So some libraries allow you to purchase a card for 1 year, even if you don't live there. Now they do cost money, but the savings is enormous. So I've done a ton of research into this, and I found that by far the best library to buy a card from that has an enormous catalog of books is the library system in Orange County in Florida. And it costs $125 per year. And while that may seem like a lot of money, you only need to read about 10 books a year to make this worthwhile. So I'm going to leave a link down in the description where you can buy this card. And the beautiful thing about the Orange County system in Florida, not the Orange County system in California, you got to look at the Florida one, but they also allow this for international residents as well. So it doesn't matter where you live in the world. If you pay $125 per year, you can get access to pretty much any book that exists. Now, there might be a wait list on some of these, which is totally fine if you've done the tips that I talked to you about before, but that's how you do it. All right, so you have signed up for your library system, and let's pretend that you've done my trick and you've signed up for a bunch of library systems, and now you have a bunch of cards. And it would be annoying to try to juggle all these cards and figure out which library has your book. It would take a lot of clicking. Here is the power user way to solve this problem, and it is by using this cool extension called the library extension. Just type in library extension Chrome, pick this bad boy up. When you get it, you're going to open it up, and it will show you, you can click in all the different, what country you're in, what state you're in, type in what library system you're looking for, and add it into your system. So I have a bunch of libraries plugged into here that I'm a member of. I'm a member of a lot more than this, but I use my laptop for it, and I'm using my desktop right now. So let's go to Goodreads. This also works on Amazon.com, but I'm a big fan of Goodreads. So let's look up a book. Let's look up Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. And when you pop open a book, it's going to pop over this extension on the right side of the screen, and it's going to show you. So in the Sacramento Public Library system, there are none available in audiobook, but look, there's a green. There is one available for ebook, but in all these others, there's not. So it's going to quickly go through all of the different library systems that you're a member of and just quickly summarize which ones is available. So I can just quickly hit borrow, it'll pop open, boom, borrow it from this library system, it's mine. It's that easy. It's a beautiful, beautifully run little system, and it's a must have if you have more than one library system on your account. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've learned something new here. If you have any technical questions about this, feel free to mention them in the comments and I'll try to answer. Or better yet, come visit my Discord channel and I can talk to you live about it. I have a link down always in the description and I would love to have you. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy reading to you. Thanks again to all of my patrons, with a special shout out to my Ascendant tier and Librarian tier patrons: Anna G, Ben, Brian, CJ, Darren, Jonathan, My Book is Lit, Nathan T, Nev's Book Channel, Ron Reich, Russell, Ryan L, Anna, Andra, Angelo, Ben, Blair, Brock, Evan, Fanixan, Jamie, Jeff Pixler, Maria, Michael Sugarman, Sky, and Zion.